Oh, I'm going to take a break. I wasn't planning on it. I've been working with my lettuce, but there's something that is so disturbing to me, and I'm hoping that this video is not for you. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California, and I want to talk about gardening today only. I've had some comments that actually they had said, multiple people, that I never addressed it. And you know what? In so many words, I probably never did. And so it caused a lot of grief for many people. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have talked a little bit about it, but not exactly to the point where you will understand what you need to not do. So I just stopped everything I was doing. I'm planting lettuce, I'm planting all my tomatoes. I'm even getting more seeds going in my little greenhouse that I made out of a tote. And I am going to talk about totes today. You know that I have been doing chair gardens for so many years. When I started it, I think most people thought I was crazy. This is the best raised bed anybody could make for free. Easy and fun and so cheap. Hi everybody, this is Robbie from Southern California. And I'm going to say that I think this is one video that everyone should watch. If you want to grow something and you have no place to grow it, you have no yard, you just have a front door, this is the video for you. And if you've got acres, this is still the video for you. I'm going to grow right here food. And this little pad here, my front door is 4 by 6. And that's more space than I need. I only need a third. So there I was about 7 years ago with a chair found in the trash and that tote found in the trash. And I proceeded to go ahead and grow tomatoes and other vegetables in that one tote right at the front door. It didn't go anywhere. I showed that it's elevated, it's off the ground, and you can put your tote on there and plant to your heart desires, and you don't have to get on the ground. I talked about chairs. Now, why do I use chairs and not tables? There's a big reason. I don't use tables unless I'm doing, let's say, dish pans. Then I will go ahead and use tables, especially tables we found in the trash. But as far as chairs, the chair is the best thing. Now, why is the chair the best thing? Some of you know, some of you don't. A chair is designed to hold 200 to 300 pounds, and sometimes more. The dynamics about it will be able to hold something that heavy. That's why I use chairs. It doesn't matter if it's an old patio chair. It can be a dining room chair somebody threw out in the trash. If it's wood, it could eventually go, but you still can grow on it. I have. That was my very first one, was an old dining room chair somebody threw out. I set it up out front on my front porch, and the video went nowhere. The few people that came in said, oh, you're crazy. You can't grow on a chair. You can't do it that way. What are you doing? And now it's gone wild because you can. And it's the cheapest way to make a garden. It's the easiest way. If you just want to put a few things and not go crazy like I did and put it all over, this is the best way. You can find a lot of patio chairs, dining room chairs, folding chairs even, in the trash. And they are designed for weight. So when you take a tote and you put it on there, and I would not put anything bigger than about 20 gallons. You don't want to go bigger because it will hang over, and that, again, will start to rock. So I started reading through, which I always do, the comments, but some of the newer comments that were coming in were actually horrifying to me. How does she keep her chairs from toppling? Mine topple all the time, and they went on, and then the conversation, which I love, like a community conversation, went, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, and I'm reading it, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh, and she never addressed it, you guys said. I never addressed it. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is why periodically somebody comes in and says their chair's toppled. I had no idea this problem was going on. Again, this video may not be for you. Whether you get an Adirondack chair, which I don't use because I just don't like them and they're too low, but you can use them, or you get one of these chairs. Generally, a lot of chairs have a slope, and it goes lower in the back and higher in the front. This one doesn't really have that much, just a little bit. Here's the thing, no matter what chair you use, in order to use this for gardening, you've got to use it the way the chair was designed. You cannot change the slope of the chair. The moment you start to tip it forward or tip it back or tip it sideways, you no longer have the disbursement of the weight on all four legs the way the chair was manufactured and designed. You have to set the chair up like this, whether it's on cement, whether you've got it on dirt. You've seen my chair garden. One time I came out, one time in all these years, and found one chair toppled. I couldn't figure out why. It is just on dirt. And there are ways, if your soil is so loose, to fix that. We can talk about that in a second. But it turned out when I went back to my cameras, I thought it was a coyote, but it was my neighbor's Dane that, I don't even have that video anymore. I think I just looked at it and thought, holy mackerel, his dog's out again. They've got Danes up on top. They somehow got in, one of them, jumped on the tote, on the chair. It must have been something he was attracted to, and they're huge, these Danes, and they did move the chair and knock it down. I quickly put it back, and all is good. It's never been changed. So when I started reading through here, it was very interesting. You know that I like a lot of times to put the holes a little higher up to retain water. That's because we're here in Southern California. We're in the summer, we're practically desert where we are. It gets really warm. We may have cooler nights in other areas because we're in like the hillside pocket canyon, so we get cool breeze at night. But regardless, we get so hot that I a lot of times put my holes up, and this will retain, I said, a little bit of water. But some of you decided, well, wait a minute. And every chair is different. The tote is slightly, if you went and checked it out, it would not be level. It's tilted back because the chair is tilted back the way people sit and the way the chair is designed. So I found out that some of you have been elevating the chair this way. So you're putting weights or putting the dirt different, digging out some of the dirt, and then you're changing the chair to tip so your water will drain out. That was the reason all these totes were going over. I saw the conversation going. The chair is not designed to be on two legs, and the moment you change it, even though it's not on, let's say, level ground anymore, gravity pulls down. Everything wants to level. The chair wants to level, but you got it this way. You've got a tote. That's why I said I don't think this is for everybody. That is getting heavier, and it wants to go this way, and eventually your chair will go down. The big thing you want to do with a chair garden is make sure whenever you set up a chair, be it cement, be it dirt, it doesn't matter, that the chair is sitting level, the chair itself, and don't worry about the tilt. Just look at it and make sure the chair is sitting on all four legs nice and sturdy. We'll get to the other thing, how you can fix that if you have sand. But let's keep going because I kind of digress. When you've got it level, the weight is always wanting to go down. It's pushing. The moment you tip it, it's going to shift and the chair will shift completely. Now, if you are in an area, Florida, any of the states that have a lot of rain, the answer to that is really so incredibly simple. You don't have to raise the level of the holes so you have water retained in there because you're getting rain all the time. But if you wanted to retain it a little bit, let's say, but you're kind of straightening it out, no, there's a really simple fix. Make some holes on the back. Just make them here and here. If you don't want it to run into the back of the chair, make it on the side, but make it on the back. So if your chair and your tote is tilted this way, the water will automatically run out. So some of you were smart enough to say, wait a minute, we're leaving a little water here, but it's going up. Now we've got 2 inches of water here, but 1 inch of water. Then put your holes here. Put a hole here if you need to. Put a hole underneath if you want, if you don't want it to retain any water. And then it will run off behind the chair. But whatever you do, do not change the integrity of the chair in which it was designed to hold somebody that's, let's say, 300 pounds, because you're now shifting and moving the chair in an awkward situation where the chair will eventually get heavier, 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 and will go over. It doesn't matter if it's forward, it doesn't matter if it's sideways or backwards. You want to make sure all 4 legs are level wherever you've got it. Now, what you can do, completely different, off subject, is you can go to the thrift store and you can get some plates, and it would have to be like ceramic or something, or go get some, I don't have any here, but a base, let's say, off of a flower pot. No, I don't. One of the plates off of the flower pot, and you can put one under each leg. I've done that. And if you've got ants, you can sit each leg in a cup, a ceramic large cup, and fill them with water, and then no ants can get to your tote. That's something I wasn't even planning on talking about. I've done that before when I had an ant problem in a certain area. Some sort of bowl under each leg. But the main thing with this is keep the chair exactly the design it was, no matter where you sit it. Keep it straight, and don't worry about the back of the tote having too much water. I personally don't care. If there's that much water on the bottom, let me tell you something. In the summer and in the fall, when we're really warm here, the plants send their roots down and suck it up. Even though a lot of your vegetable plants only go down about that much. So if you've got a lot of soil, you're not even using the bottom for the vegetable plants because they don't really have this big tap root. But when they're desperate plants, in case the water doesn't wick up, which it usually does, they can send certain water roots down to the bottom of the tote, and they'll get the water down there. But again, if you're having issues and you need it to drain more, just put extra holes, what will work for you, so there will be no water buildup. But never change the structure of the chair in which it was designed to sit, because it will go over. That's all there is to it. Tables, again, I only use tables for dish pans if I'm growing on, because a table's not designed to hold 300 pounds. So if you put a bunch of totes on top, especially if you put a tote here and one over there and none over here, your table's going to topple or eventually crumble. But if you spread something around, like I do my dish pans, I put dish pans all over, then it's going to hold a balanced weight, and you've got weight going down all on one surface all together. But when you start, it's like a teeter-totter, you start putting your weight on one side, things will tip. Well, that's what you're doing with the chairs when you're trying to, I'm going to tip it this way, or I'm going to maybe bring it up a little bit. You can't do that. You can, but you'll end up at some point with your chair over. I never will tell you you can't do something. Of course, we can do whatever we want. We can turn it upside down and sit a planter on it. But the point is, if you want it to stay sturdy, my chairs in my chair garden, including these, have been set up for years, and none of them have shifted. They're all set up level. I rake the ground, put them down, and then as the weight is on the chair, the entire thing will go down together. It's not going to go down more on one side or the other unless maybe a gopher comes by or something. But it will always be distributed even from the seat of the chair, forget the back, the seat of the chair, and it will slowly, if anything, settle in till it stays that way. If it settles in a little bit on its own and moves a little bit, that's okay. But when you're forcing it, that's when you end up with a problem. I'm hoping this doesn't go to a lot of you saying, oh my gosh, I've done that, because I'm hoping you didn't know to keep it as level as possible. That's my hope, because I figured I better get this out there, talk about that. And then I mentioned with the ants, I'm planting seeds right now in this, but as an example, you can put, I don't even know if you can see the ground, but if you can, I'll show you. You can put something like this there. You'd want something a little sturdier because this is just plastic, and they've got holes in it because I'm going to plant seeds in here. But if you had something like that and you had water in there, you can stop all kinds of insects from going up. Tool is different. We tool it, and that's to keep your pests out. It could be birds, it could be rats or mice or squirrels or whatever, even snails. But this could actually help snails too, because they don't like to swim. You could put 4 cups under each leg, and you would have to have 4. You can't have 2 and then not on the back. You'd have to do all 4, and then keep them, and when you water, filled with water, kind of fill them up off and on, flush them out so you won't get mosquitoes. So that will flush them out that way. But that alone can get rid of ants. But again, you have to have the chair balanced correctly. So you would need to have 4 of those. So I hope I addressed this from any of you that have been trying to move your chair to compensate for water runoff. No. If it sits back like it does, some chairs are more than others. This one I can see already. This one has a slight tilt. That's okay. So there's 2 inches of water here and 1 inch in the front. Eventually the plants and everything will use it. Everything will break down. So I hope I've kind of explained this. I hope. And if you have questions, absolutely, because even sometimes I kind of work my way through certain questions that may have been there 2 years ago. Whenever I go through, they come up differently. So sometimes you might think, well, why did she answer this one, not that one? There's different ways to go onto YouTube to go through the questions and comments, and now they're kind of separating them. This one's a question, this one's a comment. So it can bring up different things in different videos, but this one was kind of newer when I saw it, because if I would have seen this a couple years ago, I would have addressed it really strong then. But that's why you'll see me say, oh, and I'll answer a question. You go, wow, I asked you that 6 months ago, but you didn't answer the one I did yesterday, because that's the way it came up in the system. And I sometimes sit down, I could be anywhere. I could be at the store in line or in the car, stuck in traffic. I haven't done that lately, but I could go through and there's different ways. I might go to the community. That's just the way it brings up the questions. And I just start going down the line. And then if something looks really important as I scroll through, I can answer that right away. So I'm hoping I got this addressed. So you will all get your chairs. Hopefully you get them free. They're still always free. We still see them on the side of the road. And whatever chair you decide to make an elevated raised bed garden, you make sure the chair is sitting exactly the way it's supposed to sit. And don't put a 30-gallon tote on here. You can, but you'll need 2 chairs, one here and one in front here, and then you can sit the biggest tote you want. I do that too. I've got one I set up back there. 2 chairs together, 1 super large tote, so I could have a different variety of plants that I do in layers and pots. So you can, but again, you can't be tipping chairs to make it work for you. You've got to make it, your tote, drain in the direction you want it to drain in. And don't worry if it drains in the back. Go ahead and make your holes if you don't want the water back there, and it will work. Take it from me, it works. Again, 1 chair went over. That was the neighbor's big black Great Dane. Otherwise, all these chairs have been in the same spot all these years on the dirt, and they're all going strong. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow, and definitely grow something. It's so easy, whether you're using a tote or a dish pan, black or red, it doesn't matter. You can grow a lot of food in the smallest area. Bye-bye. I hope I got that done, and nobody will be trying to tip chairs again. Never even thought about that. Did I ever try to tip a chair? No, I don't think so.